Hi there, good morning. You've tuned into ET Now and this is Buy Now, Sell Now with me, Cheryl D'Souza. Along with me, I have Shrishti Sharma. Very good morning to you, Shrishti. And it's a brand new week and we are actually seeing some sort of green on the screen today once again. No doubt you have the Nifty that is trying to surpass the 18,600 mark, isn't it?
Well, yes, absolutely. The markets are trying to inch higher, and that's a bit of a relief because this particular week is going to be a very crucial one, Cheryl, because we have the US CPI data as well as we'll also get the imprint and the outcome of the FOMC meet. But nevertheless, the markets are seen to be recovering from the day's lowest points. If you will see, the Bank Nifty is down about 15 odd points, but that 44,000 mark is something that we'll be watching out for.
Absolutely. So that's a crucial level to watch out for. But let's take a deeper dive into what the markets are doing at this point in time. And if you look at the list of gainers, so you have mostly from the IT pack, you have HCL Tech, that's the top gainer on the Nifty right now. 2% uptick coming in for HCL Tech, followed by BPCL, Infosys, SBI Life as well as NTPC are the other set of gainers right now. Talking about the set of losers then, you have Titan, L&T as well as IndusInd Bank that are declining in trade. Then Maruti Suzuki is the other counter as well that is seeing a downtick in today's trading session. Remember, all the analysts, everyone is just eyeing the 10,000 rupee mark on Maruti Suzuki, and every time it scales towards those levels, you can see some sort of a mild correction coming on that particular counter. So Maruti Suzuki is now trading lower by about 0.7%. What is key to note is the breadth of the market still is in the favor of the advances, just 2 hours of trading session. So we need to wait and see how the rest of the day transpires. Talking about the sectoral gainers then, Nifty IT index is the top sectoral gainer, followed by realty, metal as well as oil and gas. From the flip side, the only one that is seeing some sort of a decline is Nifty auto index, mild downtick coming in for that particular counter. So that's the way how the markets are looking like at this point in time, Shrishti.
Well, yes, absolutely. But onto the show, whether we get returns from the markets or not, that will be a question. But ET Now will definitely give you an offer or a chance to win some gold, because unlock a golden opportunity with ET Now on our 14th birthday. And here's a gift for you wherein you can participate in ET Now's Force of 14 contest and stand a chance to win 14 gold vouchers on our 14th birthday. All of you have to do is to watch ET Now throughout the week and give us a missed call on 888-665-9272 and grab the golden chance.
Absolutely. And here's the third question of the day. Which show airs on ET Now at 11 a.m.? And the options are first trades, buy now, sell now, or closing trades. So quickly give a missed call on 888-665-9273 and answer the question correctly to get the gold voucher. Alright, so that's an opportunity that you don't want to miss, and definitely give a missed call on that number and stand a chance to win that gold vouchers. Remember,
that's going to be an easy one, as this is the most watched show of ET Now, isn't
absolutely, you're giving away the answer, isn't it? But yes, the viewers, tune into ET Now. We are celebrating our 14th birthday, and this week is definitely going to be an action-packed week for each of you. But for now, let's put the spotlight on the pharma sector. That is the topic that we are going to discuss on our BNS and Lens segment. And talking about the pharma space, you have the pharma export data that has come out for the month of May. But what does that entire data mean for individual companies? Let me bring on board my colleague Sharad to talk more on that. Sharad?
Well, yes, important data update coming for the month of May for the pharma exports, and looking at the numbers we are looking at for the first quarter FY24, the quarter to date numbers as we compared with January to February months, we look at a 15 to 20% downtick sequentially coming, and this is coming for two companies, which is Divis Labs and Gland Pharma, while a flattish kind of a movement coming in when it comes to Laurus Labs. Now this is coming of course ex Paxlovid, and while looking at Divis Labs sacubitril shipments, that itself has actually fallen considerably, almost roughly $3 million as compared to $37 million on the Q4 FY23 basis. Now apart from this, also looking at the overall shipments, the June shipments, they are expected to materially increase going ahead, but then that also would actually make these three companies which we have mentioned to come in at a flatter basis. Now, apart from this, also the strong numbers coming for Syngene, especially coming in from their Zoetis animal healthcare product offerings, and the numbers, if you look at it, the QTD shipments has already become $20 million. Now, this is as compared to $24 million which was seen last year. Apart from this, also let's look at what formulation companies have done for the month of May, and we're looking at Sun's data. It looks kind of weak, while on the other side Lupin's number, that is expected to be very strong, and in fact the highest monthly shipments has come for Lupin in the May 2023 of almost $67 million, while comparing it with almost $53 million last year. But do remember, Lupin's numbers are not driven by the Spiriva shipment. So overall, mixed set of pharma export numbers coming in for the month of May.
Well, thank you so much, Sharath, for highlighting how the export data for the month of May has panned out for all these pharma names. And the key takeaway is that this time around, it's a mixed set of numbers where we have some companies that are winners, but some were losers as well. But with this, let's listen into what Nikunj Dalmia, Managing Editor, ET Now and ET Now Swadesh, had to say on the pharma space.
This data is not looking all that impressive, frankly. And the minute you go down and you look at the big companies here, for a minute, and this is data which has come from IFL, you look at the big companies, which is where you need to focus on: Lupin, Aurobindo Pharma, Dr. Reddy, Divi's. I think one thing is evident, that there is still no large uptick which is there in the export market, especially in a category like API, or especially in what's happening in the injectable space. Whether it is Gland Pharma or Divi's, one is getting a sense that the export data is not looking all that robust, at least for some of the pharma companies. So even though the base effect for some of the pharma companies has started kicking in, on that low base, and you take out some of the names out as exceptions, Sun Pharma decline, Suven Pharma decline, Loris Labs decline, Divi's, it was supposed to be a turnaround quarter for Divi's, but the data is just not matching up. Bottom line here, US generic companies have still not bottomed out, and especially names like Levy's and Loris, these were like the toast of the town in 2021 and 2022.
All right, so that's the take coming in from the managing editor of ET Now and ET Now Swadesh, Nikunj Dalmia, on what he makes of the entire export data for the pharma sector. But let's bring on board our experts for today to understand what should your take be, or what should your strategy be while investing in the pharma space. We have Sharmila Joshi as well as Kunal, both are joining us on the show. Very good morning to you, Sharmila, as well as Kunal. Thank you so much for joining us on Buy Now Sell Now. And Sharmila, let me come first to you and ask, what should one do with the pharma space? Because while you think that the worst is behind for the pharma space, but the export data is not that enthusing. So what should your strategy be, or what should one do while taking a call in the pharma space? Do you think Divi's is still now a buy despite this data?
I sort of concur with what Nikunj was saying. I think, maybe 2 or 3 months earlier, we had gotten encouraging export data. And from there, the market had begun to build this thesis that the worst was behind us. Because, to put it very simply, a lot of pain was because what was happening in the US generic space and the kind of price correction that we've seen there, and then the margin pressure that it put on their overall earnings and the space. That data that month had given us some kind of an indication that things seem to be bottoming out. So while I don't think that theory is disturbed yet. I think things have bottomed out. Things will look better. But this month's data was neither here nor there, and for a couple of companies, it was worse than expected. So I think we did see a sort of a rally in pharma stocks at that point in time when we got that data. And now you're sort of stuck in a price range, because I think now to move out from this price range, you will need a further reaffirmation of the theory that things are bottoming out and things will look better. So having said that, I'm sort of neutral on the space. I don't definitely don't have a sell. But at the same time, in terms of price, I think a lot of positives are now in the most of the prices of the pharma stocks that I track.
So Sharmila is right now neutral on the pharma space, and definitely not giving a sell on these pharma names. But as what the story is coming out of May exports data, nothing much to catch on that. But Kunal, coming to you, in the recent past, we have seen a couple of pharma names on your radar, and they have done quite very well. One of the case was Glenmark Pharma. And what's your take on the pharma space right now? Because that particular space is seen to be a bit of a defensive, given the market volatility and some bit of a correction, do you believe that the investors' interest can come back in the pharma space, and any name that is on your radar for long term maybe?
Good morning. My belief is that the Nifty Pharma Index looks very attractive as a setup. Now, the Pharma Index is heading towards a classical breakout. We call it as an Ichimoku breakout for the Pharma Index. This generally has led into very strong periods of uptrend. So, what we are actually seeing could probably be a phase of a pause for most of the large cap names. There is a balance which the sector is also trying to establish at current zone. So I would believe that once that process is over, we would probably see more of a cohesive rally across most of the pharma stocks, large caps, tier to large caps as well as the mid cap. So I would be bullish on the pharma sector, and I believe that current levels could be good enough tips to try and just expand the portfolio or try and accumulate quality stocks from the pharma pack.
All right, so that's the take coming in from both of our experts on the pharma space in particular. But on that note, we slip into a break in this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. When we come back, we'll start taking your queries, viewers. So don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now, a show where we get you answers for all your stock-related queries. Onto the show, today we have Kunal as well as Sharmila with us to answer all your stock-related queries. And viewers, it's a simple process where you can connect with us live on a WhatsApp number that will be flashing on the top of your screen, or you can also write to us on our Twitter as well as Facebook pages. But let's move on and kickstart taking your queries. And the first query that I have is coming on Swaraj Engines. This question is from Mayank Saraf, and Sharmila, he's holding 500 shares of Swaraj Engines at a price of 1900. Can he add more with a 2 years investment horizon?
Yes, I think, yeah. I don't know what price he should add, but definitely I think continue to hold what you have. This stock is doing, the numbers seem to have been fairly decent in this last quarter. Valuation seemed reasonable. So, yes, I think he can definitely hold what he has. But to add, I think perhaps you can take a technical view as to what price you should add at.
Okay, next one, Kunal. This is coming from Kabir. He's writing to us from Punjab. He's bought about 1250 shares of IEX at the price of around 124 rupees per share this morning itself. He wants to know what's the short-term outlook, like a 1 to 2 month outlook on the charts for this particular counter. And he's also noting that he hopes that he's not caught a falling knife.
I think it's a very difficult proposition because when a stock is mired with so much of news flow, it's very difficult to preempt which side the stock would go into a rally. So what you're playing is more of a 50-50 bet for IEX, that assuming if the worst could be behind to the stock price or factored into the stock, you may probably expect a revival. But then I would probably not want to trade these kind of names or recommend to trade these kind of names, at least as of now, till the time the stock doesn't settle down and the volatility subsides significantly. So I'm not sure of your rationale of buying the stock, whether it's because the stock is cheap or whether it's corrected quite sharply. But technically, the factors are not favorable for IEX at current levels. So I would frankly give it an avoid or a sell at current levels.
Okay, moving on. Kunal, once again coming to you. The next question is from Bhardwaj, and he's currently holding 170 shares of Jubilant Foodworks from a price of 519, though the stock has run up from the lows, but he's still at a loss. Wishes to add more. Can he buy more at current market price? Investment horizon is 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, I think you can buy at current levels. 480 approximately is where the stock is trading right now. Looks to be an attractive bet over the medium to long term. Yes, the stock has corrected in the last 1 year, but then I think current levels looks very attractive in terms of the longer term time frame. So I think it's a good level where you can look to add.
All right, moving on. This one is coming from Satya, and this one is for you, Sharmila. He's saying that he's already holding granules in his portfolio at an average price of 300 rupees per share. He's asking you that whether should he continue to hold on to this particular counter with an anticipation of 25% uptick in a year or so, or is there any other suggestion in the pharma space except Cipla where he can make that 25% up move? What's your take on this?
So, Granules is a decent stock. What you must remember here is that they had a fairly large tailwind during the COVID period because of their presence in ibuprofen and paracetamols, etc. And now that headwind is the tailwind is out, you will see that perhaps the stock will be a little sort of. It's not likely to go up in a hurry because their earnings etc. are going to moderate to that extent. But I think yes, you should just sort of stay invested in Granules. I don't think the stock is going to go up in a hurry, but this is not a price that I think you should sell at.
Stay invested in Granules. But moving on, and Kunal, the next question is from Kamal, and he wants a mid-cap stock idea to invest in at the current market price. Durations for the next 6 months. To any of your top picks from mid-cap space?
So PFC is something which you can look out for a 6 month time frame. Yes, the stock is rallied up significantly, so maybe you can start buying at current levels and then average in case if there is any kind of a 5 to 7% correction for PFC. But I think for 225 approximately looks as an attractive proposition, and also given the fact that most of the power as well as the PSU names are doing pretty well for themselves, I think PFC could be an attractive bet.
Okay, Kunal, one more coming your way from Kirit Manik wants to know about IDFC First Bank as well as Poonawalla FinCorp. Which one is a better investment for a period of 2 years? A tough choice?
It's a tough choice. IDFC First Bank, IDFC Limited, both have done reasonably well. Poonawalla FinCorp has emerged as a good breakout candidate. I think we identified the stock at closer to 273 odd mark. So looks very attractive. Both the setup looks very attractive. Poonawalla FinCorp is coming out of a major correction consolidation. It's yet to confirm a breakout. I think if I'm not wrong above its all-time high levels, but the momentum is also very strong for the stock. So maybe sooner or later the stock would probably try and break past above those levels. IDFC Limited, First Bank, both of these charts have also shown very good recovery in the last one and a half odd year. Specifically IDFC First Bank, I think from 35, 36 levels to now 72 plus mark where it's trading. So both the charts, both the stocks are very attractive. Difficult to pick just one.
Okay, Sharmila, coming to you for next one. The next question is from Satya Veni, and he wants a long-term outlook on Bank of Maharashtra. He's currently holding 1,000 shares from a price of 33 rupees. Wants to know, can he average this particular counter, because from 33 to 34 rupees every time the stock faces rejection. So will there be an advice to average out this one?
Honestly, I think I think in terms of earnings, etc., this quarter has been fairly decent for them, which is why perhaps you're seeing a recovery in pricing. But I think ultimately the roadmap the way you see it, there is going to be some amount, some or the other amalgamation on cards ahead for such names. So why stay invested? I think it might be better if you want to be in a PSU space, be with the larger banks, be with the Bank of Baroda or a PNB or a State Bank of India, where numbers have been good and where prospects look better. So I would really recommend.
All right, moving on. This one is coming from Madhuri, and she wants to know on the charts, Kunal, Maharashtra Seamless, how is it looking right now? She wants to know whether she can buy this one for a swing trade, and if not, then if you could advise any other counters that she can look at it.
Well, not at current levels. Maharashtra Seamless, I think you can consider buying the stock, but maybe at correction. I think 440, 450 could be a good zone to buy the stock. It's an attractive chart, but then the pricing or the timing may not be perfect because the stock today I think has made a fresh swing high, fresh 52-week high, and it's now going into a mild correction from the intraday high. So I think you could probably consider waiting it out for some more time, but 440, 450 zone could be a better zone to buy the stock itself.
Okay, Sharmila, the next question also is on the banking space, and Padma has shared a long list where she has investments in the banking space. She holds Bank of Maharashtra, IDBI, PNB, IDFC First as well as Canara Bank. Majority of the names from the public sector banking space, and she's gaining around 15% in all of these names. So any advice to book out profits in any of the names and make a switch to any other counter or stock?
Outside from the list that you read out, I like a PNB and I like an IDFC First Bank. These are the stocks that I have recommended in the past. IDFC First Bank, you have seen an improvement in numbers, and overall their strategy now seems to be playing out well for them. And PNB also seems to be, sort of recovering from their legacy. Those investments and NPAs picture, etc., is looking better. So these would be the two outright stocks. I think Canara Bank is also fairly decent. IDBI, I think the concern is that once again you are going to see, some governments selling They have been wanting to sell IDBI, their stake in IDBI for the longest time. So it could be interesting to hold on to it from that perspective. And Bank of Maharashtra, again, I think you see a similar story play out. Since you're making money, I think you can stay invested. But honestly, maybe you could consider switching out of both IDBI and Bank of.
All right, this one is coming in from Gagan. He's writing to us from Punjab. This one is also for you, Sharmila, but I'm very doubtful if you track this counter. Lloyd Steel is the counter, 216 shares at a price of 1 rupees per share. He wants to know what should he do for the long term. If you look at the stock price right now, it's around 26 rupees per share. Is this a bet for a longer term, fundamentally for anybody to be invested in?
So he's bought it at 1 rupee.
Yeah, that's what is written, yes.
He has really little to worry about. But if you just look at the valuations and what valuation Lloyd Steel is trading at, their numbers seem to be improving, but valuations seem a tad bit higher. And I think you should always keep in mind that all metal plays are sort of, but this seems to be more an engineering, industrial equipment sort of play. So I think stay invested. I don't think you have much to lose.
Okay, but with this fears, it's time once again to slip into a short break. But before we go, here's a chance to win a goal as we unlock a golden opportunity with ET Now on our 14th birthday. And here's a gift for you where you can participate in ET Now's Force of 14 contest and stand a chance to win 14 gold vouchers. On our 14th birthday, all of you have to do is just to watch ET Now throughout the week and give us a missed call on 888-665-9272 and grab the golden chance.
And here's the third question of the day. Which show airs on ET Now at 11 a.m. and the options are first trades, buy now, sell now or closing trades. Give us a missed call on 888-665-9273 and answer the question correctly and stand a chance to win the gold voucher. And while you all are busy answering that, we'll actually slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. Stay tuned. When we come back, we will take all of your queries, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. Let's continue taking all of your stock-related queries then. And this one is coming in from Akshay, writing to us from Dubai. And he has two shares, which I am very doubtful either of you all track. One is Phantom, about 500 shares at 330 rupees per share, and next is Vikram Thermo. Do you track either of these counters, Sharmila, by any chance? I'm not going to ask Kunal. Kunal, should I ask you that question? I don't think you track these, do you?
By no chance.
Okay, fine. I will skip this one then. Let me take the next query, and this one is from Reema. This one is for you, Kunal. She's also asking a good share for swing trade. We've also had another query from one of our viewers also earlier asking the similar thing. She had asked for Maharashtra Seamless. You said now is not the time, but on dips. But if any other stock that you want to advise a viewer?
So, I think I discussed PFC as one of the bets which you can consider at current levels. 225 could be a swing target for the stock over the near term. You can start buying at current levels, and in case if there is any kind of a 3 to 4% kind of a dip, then you can look to average further. So that's the trade which you can look out for. The other one which you can also consider, but that would be a bit of a slow moving or a gradual moving stock, is United Spirits. That stock also looks attractive at 880 odd mark. Where it's trading right now. Looks to be a very good setup. The stock is trading above its 200 DMA, classical breakouts in terms of indicators. So that could also be another stock which you can consider buying.
Okay, moving on, and Kunal, once again coming to you because this one is specifically for you from a senior citizen from Kochi. She didn't mention her name. Okay, his name is Marcos Korean, and he's holding two counters. Firstly is HDFC AMC. From the past 4 years, he's invested in this and bought at 2,360 rupees. And the other counter is 600 shares of V-Guard from a price of 264 rupees. Sitting at a loss in both of these. So should he continue to hold on to these names? Any advice to average out or rather book losses?
No, I think I would I would recommend to hold on to both of these names, V-Guard as well as HDFC AMC. In fact, HDFC AMC seems to be coming out of a major correction. So, most of the AMC stocks had a torrid time over the last 1.5 odd years. where these stocks went into correction, HDFC, AMC, Nippon, etc. These stocks had fallen very sharply, but these stocks are making a good comeback. So, at least a major bottom seems to be now in place for these AMC stocks. You may see a gradual recovery initially, but then the pace would probably pick up in the second half of this price uptrend for the AMC stock. So I think you should stay put with HDFC, AMC, specifically. And I think even for V-Guard, the stock has gone through, I think, a 5 or a 6 year of consolidation from 2017-18, where the stock had started to get into a range. These are the kind of stocks which test a lot of patience in terms of time-wise correction, but then eventually they would reward with a breakout on the upside. Look at the prior history for V-Guard from 2017 to going back to 2009-10, the stock had multiplied almost 5-6 times in that kind of a time span. So it's bound to get into a natural time-wise correction, which I believe could probably be getting over. So you have to be patient and wait out for V-Guard as well.
Okay, this one is coming from Krishna Reddy from Bangalore. And Sharmila, which one is a better one to invest in, Karur Vysya Bank or Karnataka Bank?
Karur Vysya or Karnataka? That is
Yes.
Just let me take a look at both. Actually, both seem reasonable, but I think Karnataka Bank. I think it might be better between the two to go with Karnataka Bank.
All right, Karnataka Bank is the choice coming in. Looks like it was a tough choice to make, isn't it, between Karur and Karnataka?
If you had to pick one, it would be Karnataka.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the take coming in between the two banks. Moving on to the next question, and Kunal, this one is from Rajesh Maheshwari from Singapore, and he is holding 240 shares of ICICI Lombard from a price of 661 rupees. Sitting at a good profits in this one, but wants to know short to medium term target and what is the outlook for the stock, and should he stay put or book profits in this one?
See, I think insurance stocks as such have been very slow movers over the long-term time frame. So my sense is that maybe these stocks could get into a bit of a gradual up move, but I'm not sure that whether these stocks will probably provide any kind of a breakthrough returns over the next 1 to 3 years kind of a time frame. Yes, ICICI Lombard I think has corrected from 1600 to now 1200. Possibly that the stock may come back towards the 1500, 1600 mark say in the next 1 to 2 years, but that could just be of recuperating the losses for ICICI Lombard. So my only sense is that the entire sector looks to be more into a very gradual kind of a trend on the long term basis. So you can probably consider holding on to ICICI Lombard, but I think close to 1600, if the stock happens to come back to those levels, say in the next 1 year or so, I think it's a good time where you may look to book our profits.
Kunal, another one coming your way from Inder, Indiabulls Housing Finance. He's saying that it's down by about 40% since its buy price. What should his strategy be now for Indiabulls Housing Finance? Should he book losses now?
See, one of the point is that the stock seems to be attractively priced right now when it is closer to 100 levels. But the other and the most important factor is that the stock has not participated into the uptrend as well as in sharp phases of market correction. The stock tends to fall a lot sharper as compared to most of the other peers. Now, that's not a attractive proposition for a stock like Indiabulls Housing. So the only point is that wait for a breakout. Even if the breakout happens and the stock say rallies to 125, 130 odd mark, that could still be a point where you may start consider buying, because that would be a point of confirmation that the stock has finally managed to come out of a major correction and then restarting a strong uptrend for itself. So I would suggest to avoid the stock currently and wait patiently whenever the breakout signals occur for Indiabulls Housing.
Okay, moving on, and Sharmila, coming to you for the next one. This question is from Parvinder Singh, and he's holding 100 shares of BEPL from a price of 186 rupees. Currently at a loss, but he can still hold this counter for the next 6 months. So should he stay put in this one or rather book losses?
This is Bansali Engineering we are talking about, right?
Yes.
Honestly, the quarterly numbers don't seem that good and valuations seem a little high. Yes, I think at this price he can continue to hold, but you'll have to probably stay invested for 9 to 12 months.
Another one coming your way, Sharmila, and the stock is Gillette India. Pankaj has about 37 shares at a price of 5,309 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should average it at current price. He wants to look to hold Gillette India for the next 3 to 5 years. What's the take?
So what price he can average at, you can probably ask Kunal. But yes, this is a stock I think he can continue to hold.
Kunal, do you want to kind of chip in there? At what price can he look to average this one?
I think current price could be good enough zone where you can look to average at current levels for Gillette, because the stock has come out of a interesting technical breakout at current levels of 4,500. So current zone is a good enough zone.
Okay, Kunal, the next question is from Ram, and he's holding 750 shares of Orient paper from a price of 44 rupees. Wants to know the possible 3 months target for this one.
So, in fact, I think most of the paper stocks are actually going into a corrective phase. The last I remember, I think I'd seen the charts for JK paper. That stock was back at a multi-month, multi-quarter low. And I would probably sense that even the likes of Orient paper is falling in a very similar kind of a manner. The stock has corrected from 47 levels to, I think, 40, 41, where the stock is trading right now. So, again, the sense is that the entire paper stocks is going through a correction. Maybe this could be a seasonal or a cyclical correction, which may extend itself for another few percentage points. So I would suggest to wait out. I believe closer to 37, 38 is where you can look to average further.
Okay, this one's from Sundarajan. He's writing to us from Chennai. And Sharmila, he wants to know whether he should continue to hold on to Suzlon. He's been holding on to this counter for the last 5 years, or rather more than 5 years. And finally, he's saying after averaging, he's sitting on good profits in Suzlon. So what should his call be? Should he look to exit or stay put with this one?
So honestly, I'm very conflicted on this because when they listed, this was a stock that I used to like, and then things began to go sort of wrong, and then horribly wrong for them, and then they landed up where they were, and they became a penny stock post that. But honestly, I think from what I've been reading over the last couple of years, they seem to have done tremendous things to sort of get back on track, and the latest quarterly numbers that they reported. They sort of point towards better things coming for them. So I think that if you can look beyond the kind of issues that they had in the past, and you sort of build your belief on the fact that they will continue on the path that they have shown in this last year or so, then I think yes, this is a stock that you can continue to hold because things finally seem to be sort of coming together in a good way for them.
Coming to you for the next one, the question is from Ajay Kumar from Trivandrum, and he wants to know your view on two counters. Firstly is Himadri Specialty Chemicals, and the other is HPL Power Systems. He didn't share his buy price, but just wants to know that is there any steam left given the sharp up move we have seen in the recent days for this one, assuming that he already holds these two counters.
So HBL Power, you can consider holding on to the stock. I'm not sure whether you would, it'll be prudent to purchase or buy additional quantity at current levels, because the stock in the last 1 week has run up exceedingly high. I think there was a lot of news flow regarding the rail activity for the stock. So maybe because of that, the stock has risen up very sharply. But at current levels of 144, given the fact that in the last 1 week the stock has risen up by 40-45%, I think averaging out at current levels may not be a good strategy, because there could be an immediate cool off also which could happen to the stock. Himadri Specialty Chemicals, I think that's a stock which looks to be fairly attractively priced. I think in the last 4-5 days the stock has corrected mildly from 135, 134 to I think 129 where it's trading right now. So that would be a stock where you may consider holding on or even averaging out.
All right, on that note, we'll slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. But viewers, unlock a golden opportunity with ET Now and this is on our 14th birthday. Here's a gift for you. Participate in ET Now Sports or 14 contest and stand a chance to win 14 gold vouchers. On our 14th birthday, all you have to do is watch ET Now through the week and give a missed call on 888-665-9272 and grab the golden chance.
Third question of the day, and which shows airs on ET Now at 11 a.m. The options are first trade, buy now, sell now, or closing trades. You can give us a missed call on 888-665-9273 to answer the same and win a gold by answering this particular question. Welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now, show where we get you answers for all your stock related queries. And continuing the same, the next question is for you, Sharmila. The question is from Mary, and she's holding shares of SRF. She didn't share his buy price, but just wants to know the outlook for the medium term investment horizon on this one. We also have the exports data for SRF, which shows a fall of 15%, and that's why we are seeing the counter under pressure. How do you see this news flow, and going ahead, what is the outlook on the same?
So yes, I think as the export data suggests, I don't think that the midterm outlook is particularly encouraging. Because once again, this is a space that did very well. With that whole China plus one factor playing out for a lot of the chemicals that this company makes. But in this last couple of years, things have not looked that great, and we have seen numbers being sort of tepid. So I think you have to allow all that to sort of settle down, and it's a good company. I would, if you are a long-term investor, I would advise a hold. But I don't think that things are going to like sort of magically do well from here. So you'll have to give the stock some time.
One is coming in from Mr. K. Parthasarthi, who's a senior citizen, writing to us from Chennai. Kunal wants to know a technical view on Natco Pharma, which he purchased at a price of around 845 rupees per share long time ago. 50 shares is what he has. He wants to know whether he should go ahead and book loss or wait for an upside, and what sort of a target can he envisage for Natco Pharma in a near term. Also, REC also he wanted to know 130 is the buy price. Should he book profit?
So REC, I think you can continue to hold on. As I said, that possibly REC, PFC looks attractive for 225. So maybe REC could also garner another 10% from current levels. So maybe closer to 165, 170 could be a potential near-term target range which you can keep for REC, and that could be a zone where you may look to consider booking out profits. Now for Natco Pharma, this could be interesting because the stock seems to have formed a major bottom closer to 525. But then if you ask me, frankly, that there are relatively better stocks in the pharma pack even at current levels. I would still believe that Glenmark Life Sciences, both of them look attractive. Zydus Life is something which you can consider buying at current levels. Lupin, I think, has been showing very good recovery over the last 1 or 2 quarters in terms of the previous major lows and the downtrend the stock has been. So there are far more relatively stronger charts in the pharma pack. So if you are, if you can consider holding on to Natco Pharma as of now, but if you are looking to deploy additional capital, then I believe don't deploy it on Natco Pharma as of now, and then consider buying maybe the likes of Glenmark Life Sciences, Zydus Life, or Lupin. Those could be attractive bets.
Okay, moving on, and Sharmila, the next question is from Pradeep, and he has a couple of names in his mind where he's looking for a fresh investment. The options are Chemplast Sanmar, Zydus Life, as well as Kfin Technologies. Any of the names that can be bought at current market price?
One is Chemplast Pharma.
Chemplast Sanmar, the other one is Zydus Life, and the third one is Kfin Technologies.
Oh, so they're all in that sense. I think Chemplast Sanmar could be a good bet. I think you could look to invest in.
All right, this one is coming from CG from Karnataka, and CG has bought Hercules Hoist at a price of 244 rupees per share. Kunal wants to know whether should CG stay put with this particular counter or look to exit this one, because the profit is, he's making mild profits on this one.
Yeah, mild profits. Stock is at 268, 270 levels. The last 2-week high for Hercules was around 285 mark. But the candlestick patterns on those 2 days when the stock had tested 285 is indicative that there is a major supply which is coming at 285 levels. So you can consider buying, booking profits at current levels, or maybe in case if the stock rallies up slight higher, then I believe that would be a better trade for Hercules. And in case if the stock correction say comes back towards 240 mark, that could be a point where you may look to reconsider to initiate a fresh buy.
Okay, Kunal, what's your take on Tata Motors, because you have been tracking this counter, and a viewer from Gurgaon, his name is Anand, is holding 400 shares of Tata Motors from a price of 402. At this point in time, can he book partial profits as he is a short to medium term investor?
Yeah, so if you're clear that you're a short to medium term investor, then I think it's a good zone where you may look to book out major profits for Tata Motors, and then consider buying maybe some of the other names which are emerging as potential breakout candidates from the auto pack. Hero MotoCorp is one of the stock. We highlighted this stock in the Chartbusters last week. Maruti is one of the stocks which I've been consistently bullish on. My expectation is that the stock should surpass the 10,000 mark in this leg of the rally of uptrend for Maruti. So there are better alternatives which you can consider in terms of a swing trade since you are a medium to short term investor.
Okay, this one is coming in from Swati Kunal. RHIM is the counter, 100 shares at a price of 750 rupees per share. She's suffering some sort of losses in this particular counter. What's your take? Should she look to average this one or exit?
Well, I would recommend to exit the stock. Now, after two straight months of correction, the stock had shown, I think, in December 2022. From there, it's been 4-5 months of consolidation, but no major reversal for the stock. That's an indication that it's going into a distribution pattern. So I would not advise to put additional capital, and in fact, if possible, then book out your existing position, shift to some other large cap names.
Okay, Kunal, the next question is specifically for you. The question is from Anna, and he wants your view on two counters, Apar Industries as well as KPI Green. Any of the counters you like for a fresh buy at this point?
So KPI Green could be a better bet. Apar Industries has moved up significantly high, I think, the last 12 months or so. So maybe the risk reward is a bit skewed. The trends are attractive, but then I think timing the stock at current levels may not be very suitable. But I think KPI Green could be a good stock. The stock has just recently given a breakout. 500 is a breakout point for KPI Green, and after consolidating for almost 1 year, it seems to be that the stock could be gearing up for another 20% up move over the next 6 months to 12 months. So that's a stock which you can consider buying.
Okay, Kunal, this one is coming in from Sri, writing to us from Kochi, and he's already holding DLF in his portfolio. He wants to add one more of a realty name in his portfolio, and he's thinking whether he should look to buy Godrej Properties or Prestige Estates. Among these two, if you could advise an entry level that he can look at for this counter for the period of 12 to 18 months, and if both of them don't make the cut, which one should he look at?
So Prestige could be good enough because I think that stock has confirmed a breakout, and again a very similar breakout to what was there visible on DLF and such other real estate names. I think Prestige has managed to come back towards a life high, if I'm not wrong, or just very close to that life high levels. So I think that's a stock which you can consider out of the two names.
Okay, Sharmila, the next question is from Satyan, and he's holding 40 shares of Aditya Birla AMC. From a price of 585 rupees, should he hold or book losses in this one? He can stay invested for the next 2 years.
I think stay invested. It's a 2-year horizon. Stay invested.
All right, with that, let's kickstart with the rapid fire then. The first one is coming from Kusuma from Pune. Kunal, ABB, is it a good price to enter right now for the long term?
Well, yeah, I think at current levels, it could be a good enough zone to buy the stock. It's been a very strong uptrend. The sector has been looking very attractive.
Okay, Kunal, Srikanth is holding 2,000 shares of Zomato. Didn't share his buy price, but wants to know how much upside is left in Zomato at this point.
Well, I think the upside has just started. Given the kind of recent breakout, you should consider holding on.
All right, this one is coming in from Trichy. Victor from Trichy wants to know about Hero MotoCorp. Right time to enter this one, Sharmila?
Yes, you can buy it.
Okay, Kunal, Guru wants to know, can he buy GAIL at this price or wait for some correction?
NTPC could be a better bet if you can consider changing on from GAIL.
Okay, this was from Krishna, holding TTK Prestige at 900 rupees per share. Makes sense to continue to stay put with it or look to exit? He's making some losses on this one. Sharmila?
I think you can continue.
Kunal, Sanjeev wants to know the short-term targets for L&T and can he add more at current market price?
Well, add on dips, but I think 2,500 could be broadly a good target for L&T.
Okay, this one is coming in from one of our viewers, wants to know whether to go ahead and exit JK Paper and buy Aparo Electra Green for a period of 1 year. The viewer is RK. Sharmila?
Well, honestly, I like JK Paper, but I do understand that the sector is going through headwind. But if he's a long-term investor, he can continue to hold JK Paper.
Okay, Kunal, Anurag is holding 4,000 shares of Vodafone Idea at an average price of 5 rupees. Should he continue to hold on or book out from this one?
Exit if you're a short to medium term investor.
Okay, Jijo wants to know about capacity infra. 140 is the buy price. Should he go ahead and book profits in this one, Kunal?
Yeah, I think it's a good time to book out profits and then consider buying back when the stock corrects to 170, 175.
Okay, Sharmila Mali is holding 2,000 shares of Bajaj Finserv from a price of 1,400 rupees. Should she continue to hold on or sell this particular counter?
I think continue to hold it.
All right, with that, we come to the end of the rapid fire as well as the query segment. Thank you so much, Kunal, as well as Sharmila, for joining us on the show, giving us a take on the pharma space, as well as resolving all of our viewer queries and viewers. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. But remember, here's your chance to unlock a golden opportunity with ET Now on our 14th birthday. Here's a gift for you. Participate in ET Now's Force of 14 contest and stand a chance to win 14 gold vouchers. On our 14th birthday, all you have to do is watch ET Now through the week and give a missed call on 888 6659 273 and grab the golden chance.
And here's the third question of the day. Which show airs on ET Now at 11 a.m.? The options are first trades, buy now, sell now, or closing trade. Give us a missed call on the number flashing on your screen and just answer the questions correctly and win a chance to win a golden voucher.